Vendor Besties!
Vendor Besties.
Welcome back!
Season
Good to see you guys again.
Episode 6.
Yes.
Woo!
It's good to see you guys again as well.
As if it was a whole different day.
Thanks for having us back.
The whole day.
Absolutely.
Thanks for making the drive 2 whole times.
Yeah.
Whole time.
From Vancouver.
On a
It's
sunny
hike.
day like it is, heck yeah.
Wow.
Such an exciting episode 4. Now it's 5.
This is
6. Guys, numbers are hard.
Episode 4 was good too.
So, episode 5, we brought in DJs Jared and Zach. If you want to know more about them, you can rewind and watch that one again because I'm not saying it twice.
It'll be in the caption.
Starting today with Emily.
Aw, feels so special.
What are you holding?
My emotional support flags.
Fun with Flag Day.
So since we have 2 competing DJs here today, if it gets crazy, she will let us know that they need to simmer down.
Might get a little rowdy.
I was hoping for
No fist fights
fights
today.
Oh, I mean, we're not
It's
hoping
not a hockey
for...
game.
No boy aquariums today.
Okay, what's your question for these DJs? Let's go.
So, excuse me. Something that I've run into in the past with clients, and I was curious to see how you guys as DJs would handle this, have handled this, or how, as a planner or planners, we can guide our clients. When a client is asking for their reception to be played by playlist strictly, like a Spotify playlist strictly, no mixing, and they're looking to forego a standard MC. And in my contract specifically, I require a professional DJ.
I'm moving that direction.
Good on you. It's great.
So that's become a hard thing to come up against when my clients, or, you know, I have inquiries where they're requesting this in their wedding and I don't have any recommendations for DJs.
Well, you've set a good standard for yourself and what you'll do that day, and now you have to work with what kind of restriction that gives you for vendors.
Yeah, because that's not a service I will do.
Yeah. Mine just says that I will not play your playlist and be your MC.
Which I think is the standard.
And I need to upgrade it to hire a real DJ. But I'm doing okay with telling people when I say, no, I don't do that. And here's why you don't want a friend to do it either. Like this year specifically, I've talked 3 clients into just hiring the DJ. Like I will help you make room in your budget. You're hiring a real DJ.
I think the first thing it goes into is us as vendors, we need to be able to figure out like what lane we fall into, but it is really hard for us sometimes to say no and learn how to say no. So the first question I'd have for you, Emily, is that the type of product and experience that you want to be able to be a part of and produce? I know for myself, the very first thing that I've gotten comfortable in telling couples, whether they're booked with us or not, is if you want 100% control of the playlist, we're not the right fit for you. And it's not that I don't want your input, because I do. I want to know what you want for cocktail hour, for dinner, for partying, for guest arrival, whatever it may be. But if you want 100% control of it, it takes the creative aspect and the experience that we have gained over the years of doing event after event, working with so many different people over those years, and being able to apply it to the day. You may be like, for example, you've got a playlist, a Spotify playlist, 200 songs or whatever like that. Does that couple, are they going to account for 4 years ago on the last weekend of June when it was 117 degrees and 115 degrees on Sunday here in Portland? There ain't nobody dancing in that type of weather. What about the freak weather when it turns to rain or whatever like that, or whatever the case may be? Like there's so many variables that go into that you can't account for, that if you just put this song after this song after that song, no, there isn't, you know? Yeah. And even if you, oh, well, my best friend is going to do it, they're going to make announcements. No, you can't rely upon them to be able to do it. They're going to get sucked up with having conversations, being in the moment or anything like that. That's why it's so nice. And, you know, to be able to have somebody dedicated strictly to being able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
absolutely. I had a wedding 2 years ago where I allowed the friend, and the way that night went was that I was on his case all night to do the things and make the announcements. And as he got further and further inebriated, I just ended up making the announcements because I'm like, he couldn't even understand and comprehend what I was trying to communicate for him to say, even word for word. Like what came out the other end was not what was helpful. And I was just like, hand me the mic. Just sit down.
My sister's wedding was a similar situation. My brother-in-law hired a friend or asked a friend to DJ, and as soon as the dance floor opens up, he thought it was his Coachella. So he starts playing these like EDM remixes, and my grandma's sitting in the chair just like staring like, what?
So dumb. I've experienced those as well. I've been a part of prior weddings where like they opted for me to be the guest, and we all.
Is that not the worst? Being a guest at a wedding?
And you were part of several last year.
I can supply you guys with video footage of nightmare wedding that we were guests at.
It's crazy.
If you know me personally, you're not doing me a service by allowing me to just be a guest at your wedding. Please let me make your wedding cake.
Yeah, just let me do it. Just let me do it.
Just, you know.
Let us control the things that we're going to be caring about, because otherwise we're going to be really upset when those things happen poorly.
So wait, I want to touch on something. You said that when you are actively, working through your playlist on the dance floor or whatever, you're making decisions sort of on the fly. So how much should you expect your DJs to be actively mixing like between songs, or are you just like changing the order of them to like go with the vibe? What does that look like?
I think it depends on first the price level of DJ that you're first selecting. If you are getting that like bottom of the barrel, $750, $1,000 DJ, they're just going to drag and drop songs and they're just going to play them as requested. So if you're wanting to get a little more of an upper echelon experience, those DJs have a little more understanding of crowd control, reading the room. So like I always talk about during consults, I always talk about like the dance floor is a funnel. It's broad at the top, it's narrow at the bottom. At the very beginning of the night, we're playing multi-decade generational hits. For me, I don't play hardly any originals. I'm not an original person. I want everything to have some bit of a redrum, remix, something that's got a little more of a beat. So, but it can still have the integrity of like fun family music. So like you're just like your Earth, Wind and Fire stuff, Bruno Mars. Like I'd bounce through your top 40 basically of the decades.
But it's gonna feel fresh.
But it's gonna feel fresh. It's gonna feel light. You're still getting grandma to dance to like a housey beat, and you would never imagine it. Then as the night kind of works through, the funnel gets narrower. You start honing in on like the experience of what the wedding party wants or what maybe the goal was originally for that couple. So that's kind of my tactic, is that we're here to make it inclusive for everybody. And we're just playing within the boundaries of how much dance floor time we have and what the overall goal for the couple is. If I have a 1 hour dance floor, I have to hurry and get through things. But if I have a 4 hour dance floor, I have to also know that like, okay, people are not probably going to dance that much the first 2 hours. Yeah, it's a long time to mix, like especially when you're a live mixer, like you are actively transitioning every single track. So you have to like know how long to play what can get away with in the beginning of the night versus save for later on.
Can we really fast from that, talking about transitions, why it's important to do live transitions, please?
Take it away.
I think in 2026 it's a standard. It
should be the standard.
It is.
But why does it matter for those that aren't familiar with what that even means? Like what is the effect for the average dance floor guest to a live transition versus it just goes from this song to this song?
It's their attention spans. People have the attention spans of as fast as they can swipe left, right, up, and down. It's the TikTok effect.
Yeah.
It's everything. Once again, it goes right back to our cell phones. And then the other factor is TikTok. People have access to all the different reels, the mashups and everything like that, and they're seeing DJs on there that are so-called DJs, they're Instagram famous or influencers or whatever like that on there that are doing this, so they almost have those expectations. Or they're seeing, Gen Z is seeing the festival DJ nowadays, and they're almost expecting that now in their wedding, in their event, because they want something specialized.
Which is dope. I'm willing to do that. Like, if that fits my clientele basis. And I mean, also too, like most transitions are happening between 1 minute 30 to 2 minutes, which most average structure of a song is first verse and then chorus, and then you're out. So it depends on the track. It's about understanding as a DJ, like what's hot right now.
And what section of the song to use.
Oh, what section of the song. So I always use this as an example. Bottoms up, Nicki Minaj, the verse at the very end where she raps. that's like the last verse of that song. It's a 4.5-minute song. So if you were to play the entirety of that song, you'd hear bottoms up probably like 100 times. So the idea is you want to play the very beginning of that chorus, and then I just hop right to the Nicki verse, and then it's one more chorus of bottoms up, and then we're out. So I'm playing 1 minute and 45 seconds of a 4-minute song, but I'm playing like that one spot, or like live your life. Hey, hey, hey. Most people don't want to hear T.I. rap it. They just want to go, hey, hey, hey. So you're playing.
It's the same thing with Justin Bieber, Baby.
Yeah.
If you cut off before the Ludacris verse at the end, you are getting ridiculed.
Yeah.
I feel like
everyone wants to say Luda.
DJs nowadays need to go back and DJ a high school prom or homecoming nowadays, because they will really understand what the clientele wants nowadays.
I'll pass on that.
I know.
I don't do schools.
I've had some great ones, but then I've had some nightmare ones, because they do not give a crap about giving you their input. They will slash their throat. They will thumbs down you. They will boo you, whatever the case may be. Oh, yes.
Nope.
Well, so this kind of brings us like really beautifully into a subject that is all over social media right now, and we have all had conversations about in the group chat, which is how vendors across the board need to really be considering how the changing tastes of people getting married, as now we're seeing more and more Gen Z like moving into the wedding industry, are impacting how we need to do our jobs to stay relevant.
Totally.
And I think that attention span and also expectations are a pretty big one that I've never considered.
Yeah.
Communication standards are changing.
I actually just had a sales meeting yesterday with my company back in Columbus. I still do sales consulting with them. And we are no longer in the realm of couples and as well as adults that are openly discussing and having conversations. Gen Z are a little more reserved, a little more pulled back in certain ways. And you have to be the one to actually ask the questions in order to achieve the answers. A lot of times they don't like verbally communicate right off the gate what they want. You have to kind of probe a little bit and ask questions and try to achieve ultimately what their overall like arching dream of their wedding day is, or whatever event that you're doing. So I think that's number one, is you have to ask questions, a lot more questions than originally intended. I'm from the Midwest, so people are always jabbering, always talking, always willing to tell and talk to anyone about anything. So also, like, it's not even just a Gen Z thing, but it's also a regional thing in the United States of who's actually who you're working with, along with the age demographic as well.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
And Gen Z, a lot of them I'm finding like they want to text me. They want to have all their conversations via text. And I say at the beginning, yes, we can text. That's fine. However, if there's something you need me to do, if it's an action item, you have to email me, because ADHD, I'm not going to remember just because it's in a text. And I can't search my texts to find the information that I need to do the action item for you. So I'm happy to text with you, but the compromise is that periodically I'm going to need you to specifically email me something. And for the most part, they're all like, yeah, I can totally do that. And Becca has been great about that. Like, she'll text me all the time and I'm like, cool, yes, email that one. And she's like, great, done.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something I've seen specifically online become a debate, right? Which is response time and method of communication. And I think it's really challenging because a lot of the reasons why vendors across the board structure their communication pathways the way they do is to juggle multiple clients. And so the expectation that, well, if you can't get back to me within 24 hours, or if you can't communicate this way, then you're going to lose all these clients. Like, I understand needing to like rise to meet the moment and meet your customers where they're at, but also some of these things exist for a reason.
Yeah, we've built our systems for our functionality, not theirs.
Well, for volume and for scale, not just about like, here's how I personally work, but it's if I want to be able to make enough money and have enough clients and customers and scale my business, I need to be in control of things in a certain way.
Yeah.
totally.
I think there's a couple of things that just go into that. And in this first one is setting proper expectations up front with them. You know, something that I tell all of my couples is I'm happy to text with you, the exact same thing that you do. Text me. If it's nothing really major to do with your wedding or your private event, text me. No problem. I'll get back to you within the time whenever I'm available. If it is something significant that I need to be able to reference later on, email is the way to do it, because yes, I can search it and I can do history. But the thing is with Gen Z, they have grown up basically with instant gratification. They've grown up that is different. The majority, not all vendors, are probably 30 plus that have a significant like established business.
Yeah.
We grew up in a different time frame just a little bit. They have all grown up being able to search the internet and find the answer within, seconds. The same thing with our websites. A lot of vendors don't understand that you have to have more information than ever available to them. Otherwise, they're just going to go on.
They don't want 3 steps to find what they're looking for.
They don't want to have to start a conversation. I think if they're going to feel obligated to continue that conversation and they're not interested in your services. Right? So being able to filter out, are we even a good match up front is really important, because that antisocial, no, I don't deal with real people, I deal with my phone that's not just Gen Z though. I think that's changing how we're all.
I get a lot of Instagram inquiries. I probably get about 3 to 4 a week at this point in my career. And so I've noticed that some of them are starting to filter into the Gen Z demographic. And they basically are up front, wedding dates on this day. It's going to be at this location. And we're interested in your prices. And I'm more of a higher tiered price DJ, but yet I represent a company that represents a very wide range. So you want to make sure that you're addressing why they're coming to your Instagram. So, but you almost have to be somewhat ambiguous a little bit so that you can get them to the table to discuss things. Right, exactly. So you can't just be like, hey, congratulations, here's my calendar link, let's set up a time to chat. Sometimes you can get away with that. It depends on the situation. But I think ultimately with the shifting of, I won't even say it's instant gratification. I think it's just there's more information now more than ever. So I think in order to accommodate that, you have to be able to somewhat answer the question, but not enough to where someone goes, oh, well, it's out of my budget, and they walk away. If I just simply said, hey, I go for $4,000, most people are going to feel like they don't qualify. But yet they might qualify for one of our $2,000 or $3,000 tier DJs on our team.
Or they might decide they do want your $4,000 package. Once you talk to them, they might decide the value's there.
I still do. I'm like, hey, I represent a company called Paradox Productions. I do go for a certain price, but we all range from $2,000 to $4,000. And then I say, hey, would you like to set up a time to talk? So I'm a little ambiguous on Instagram, but it's enough to get them to the table.
You don't have a problem articulating your value if they want to talk about your value.
Not at all, because if we set up a consult, I'll go, first, let's dive into me. Yes, why you came, right? You saw my Instagram, you liked my content. Yeah. Totally cool. This is the price that I go for. If I'm not the right fit for you based off of budget, then that's fine. We have other options that are still great. There's a way to kind of delineate a little bit where their goal is in terms of wedding expectations or client expectations and budget. So you kind of have to just balance the beam.
Writing your scripts, I think that comes down to a really good piece of actionable advice. It's if people want fast communication and they want to be able to make decisions, do we even want to have this meeting? Knowing what's your script so that you can get to that response really quickly and get them to the table. Right. And actually meet the needs and pique the interest of someone who's maybe 15 years younger than you, because we're old.
No.
I have to say Tony works with kids. What's the age range of the kids?
Oh, elementary age. So
6,
they're Gen Alphas.
But that's where some of the vocabulary.
They're 6 or 7 to about 12. Yeah.
That's where the vocab is coming in, and I've learned so many phrases and things that some of these Gen Z clients are using because I've heard Tony use them because he's picking them up at school. Also, and I'm like, thank you for being my liaison to the young folk.
Absolutely, and I work in the hip hop industry too. Yeah. So, a lot of people I work with over there are Gen Z, and I love it. Honestly, I'm learning, and people that help me out as an assistant on the day of are Gen Z. And honestly, I've been learning so much from them. The direct communication, I think millennials and older are more interested in easing into things, nuance and details. So as a result, I get an inquiry from a millennial, they want all the information up front. Whereas a Gen Z, I can be more inclined to just say, this is what I'm gonna do for you. Do you like that? And then we're done.
That's so true.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, wait, and they pay right away. They're so used to instant pay. I grew up with cash, so I had to go to the ATM, or I had to go make a wire transfer. It's going to take 4 days, and it was a Friday, and I had to wait till Monday. They're like, let's go, let's get this booked. So I'm, as weird as it is for me, I'm adapting pretty well, and I more prefer it now.
I'm enjoying it too.
Yeah.
I think that if it's going to be a tough pill to swallow for vendors who are not Gen Z or anywhere on the cusp. If you can't figure out how to adapt, you are going to start losing jobs to people with less experience who aren't as good as you. It doesn't matter how fantastic you are. If you can't meet people with what their needs are at, someone who is got a better social media presence or who just reacts the right way or speaks the right language, they're going to get the job because people really value familiarity and communication that feels like that connection is there.
Right. And as business owners that employ Gen Z, I was talking to my boomer uncle about this the other day, and he was complaining about the Gen Z. They don't want to work. They don't want it this. And I'm like, they want to work. They just want to know why they're working. Yeah. They want to know what part of the process they're in. Would you rather have somebody blindly just like doing something, or would you rather have somebody that prefers to know the whole thing and is actively participating in a system that needs to be excited about it? But as a result, if you're able to get them motivated and excited about it, they are like that much more part of the game. I prefer that personally.
I was going to touch on your point of social media playing an impact. I had just seen some numbers come out, and TikTok is now accounting for, I believe, about 26%. It's up 13% from just 2025. 26% of where couples are going for their wedding information. 51% are Gen Z now.
Which is wild. That's wild. I have a TikTok and I'm terrible at it. I can do Instagram content all day, but TikTok.
It's funny because for the first year,
I have a writer's block when it comes to TikTok. I don't know why. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Honestly, I use a scheduler for all my TikTok.
For everything.
Good for you.
Yeah, we schedule
smart.
everything.
Systems to meet the needs of your business when it's an area that you have a hard time actively staying engaged in, right?
It's not even that I have a hard time staying actively engaged in. It's more when you have so many roles to fill, you're constantly on the move, you're constantly going. How do you maintain a ship that constantly is moving forward?
Hit that algorithm.
Well, that's where we struggle nowadays, and it's always something that we have to adapt. But we're not DJs anymore. We're DJs and hosts on the day of, but we're also sometimes a planner and coordinator. But outside of there, we have to be a business owner, a content creator. We have to be a website designer, a marketing genius,
sales consultant.
Unless you have unlimited budget to pay somebody to do all those things.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's just in your job. What do you do on the side of that? What do you do on your regular?
Do you have a life is the question.
Right. Like, are you a husband? Are you a dad?
I'm trying to be a dad. I got a 5-week-old at home now, but
Congratulations.
It's how old? 5 weeks?
5 weeks now.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have a question.
I got the Gen Beta, the first one of the Gen Beta now.
Sweet.
I just saw that the other day. I'm like, oh my
The
gosh.
new update.
Yes.
The new update.
That's great. I have a question though. We've got about 6 minutes or so left on this, so I really want to touch on this from your perspective. Obviously, social media and a younger clientele impacting the industry in many ways. How is that impacting how people are planning entertainment in their weddings? Like, how much more important or less important is that to the clients who are as they're planning now?
I think it's more important than ever, because if they find us, you refer them over to us, the first thing they're doing is potentially going to our website, then they're immediately going to our social media. I've had social media mentioned more times to me that, oh, we loved your content, or we saw you, on this, but we also looked on your website, but we immediately went over there.
I send everybody the Instagram first. I send the Instagram first, and I'm like, if you like, unless it's somebody that has specifically not represented themselves on Instagram. Like, if they don't put any effort into it, I don't. But everybody else, I send them the Instagram, and I say, if you think you want to go further, let me know. I'll send you their website. I'll connect you by email, whatever.
Well, proof is in the pudding. So, especially with DJs, you don't get to see the final product until it's too late and it's the day of the wedding or the event.
No, they have to see.
So with that being said, this is something that was a requirement for me in Columbus when I started under the company that I was at. Shout out Juxtaposition Productions in Columbus, Ohio. But we all had to have an Instagram. And at first it was tough because it's like, I don't have any content. And so you had maybe had a couple headshots or whatever. But then as you worked your way through, you started having examples of weddings that you're doing and galleries of the weddings that you're doing and all that stuff. And that gets people excited. They start seeing like what's possible at the wedding day. Maybe you post a reel of like you mixing, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, like we're the only really people where like you don't get to hop online and see what the final product looks like until it's actually on your day. So you have to give them something.
I think for us it's that way too, but yeah.
Even a bio video. Yeah, planners, I guess, are a lot of ways too.
Well, and for us it's hard to show what we do without just showing what everybody else is doing.
Well,
because
yeah,
you don't right, you don't understand that it was worth it to have us because you're not stressed on your day until you don't have stress on your day. And then how do you show that? So those of us that do design, you know, we can show good design, but it's hard to for some people. Bless you for having something that you can take a picture of.
Yeah.
And bless me for taking the pictures.
Share the albums with the DJs, though. Some of y'all are great, but some of you are horrible. We could be your biggest advocates in marketing for you.
We all agree
Honestly, if we ever work together, let's lock that in beforehand, and we'll lock in with the couple what they want to share and what we can share. Let's put it on paper, because like as soon as I get the gallery, it's sent to the couple, sent to everybody else that like showed an interest. That talk about communication. I feel like that's
so
just
I think our just don't for this episode is going to be don't underestimate how critically important it is to stop acting like a fucking boomer.
I was gonna go with just don't assume that it's not important to shift your communication to Gen Z.
But how do I not act like a boomer when New Balance shoes have come back in?
Yeah. But like, I don't know. Read the room.
I'm gonna get along.
Hey, you're not coming to my 50th birthday party anymore.
Dude, apparently I'm not supposed to wear leggings to the gym anymore. I'm supposed to wear sweatpants now.
Oh, no.
They're changing everything.
They want to change everything. We have to hold strong on a few things.
Vendor besties!
Salud, salud.
We did it.
I've been trying to get ahead, but I keep falling short. Sometimes it's tough getting out of bed when I'm feeling out of sorts. Call it what you will. It's just the art of standing still. I'm just trying to get it right. Call up my besties for a ride. You know the best is yet to come.